Hey families, I just want to send you guys a quick idea for a devotion with some games. And so I'm going to explain the game part first, and then you can come back and you can watch this later together, okay? So here's the game first and foremost. This is all stuff that you're going to do outside. First one includes just a little bit of water. So I want you to find two buckets. One filled with water and one that's empty. I want you to put that bucket a lot further away. The full one and the empty one, I want you to separate those two. And so this is the name of the game. You guys are going to have to fill up that bucket as fast as you can, right? The empty one, fill that one up as fast as you can by filling up your hands like this, okay? So I want you to scoop up some water. I want you to run. I want you to fill up that bucket as fast as you can. You put a line on the bucket. It's going to take a long time because you're only using the hollows of your hands like that, okay? So scooping up water, we'll see how long it takes for you to get to a certain line. And if you have multiple kids in your family, you can do it one at a time and see how long it takes for each person to do. You can even just use a cup if that works for you guys, okay? So that's game number one. Game number two, I want you guys to trace out your hands. So go outside, use some chalk, trace out your hands and see who has the largest hand, okay? After that, I want you to draw the largest hand that you can draw. Whoever draws the biggest hand on the ground wins, okay? So find some space, a safe space, draw a big hand. Biggest one wins, okay? That leads us to the third game. You can do this on a hike. You can just do this in the backyard. I want you to find the largest item in nature that you can grab, that you can pick up, that you can hold, okay? So it could be a giant rock. We'll go with the heaviest item, okay? Go with the heaviest item, whether it's a rock, but you got to be able to pick it up, or a log. Whatever you can find in nature, biggest one you can find, I want you to grab it, okay? And if you're on a hike or something, just keep an eye out for what you think is the biggest item in nature. It could be a boulder. It could be anything like that. It could be a massive tree. Just keep an eye out. Whoever spots that one, the biggest one that you think wins. Parents are the judge on that one, okay? So you got three games. You got filling up the bucket or cup or whatever with the hollow of your hands to picking up the largest item is the last game in the middle game. I forgot. The hand, okay? Make sure you trace out that hand. Those three games. And then come back and watch this. So you can push pause and then I'll unpack it. All right, now that you guys have played those three games, I want to get your mind around how big our God is. And this is an important passage, Isaiah 40. During a time for the people of God back then, they were without hope. They needed comfort. They were in a time that was really, really hard for them. And it might be really similar right now with all the things that you've seen going around you. And we need comfort. And we need hope. And this passage in Isaiah 40, if you want to read the whole thing later, it is filled with comfort and hope. And this is how Isaiah gives those people comfort and hope. He points them to a big, big God. And so Isaiah 40 verse 12, you can read along with me. Who has measured the waters in the hollow of his hands, or marked off the heavens with the span of his hand? Who has gathered the dust of the earth in a measure, or weighed the mountains on a balance, or the hills on a scales? Man, think about this. Isaiah's giving them a picture of this really big God who has measured all the water and all the earth. If you've been to the beach, there is a ton of water, right? God has taken all that water and he can hold it in the hollow of his hands. That's a big God, right? He has literally measured out the entire sky. If you've ever looked out at night at a clear sky and all the stars and all of heaven, he can literally hold that and stretch the heavens out with the span of his hand. Man, that is a big, big God, right? Who has literally taken all the dust, all the sand. Remember, we'll go back to the beach or maybe a lake and you see all the sand all over the ground, all the dirt in your backyard, wherever. He can literally take all the dirt, all the sand, everything over all the earth in the measure of his hand. He literally pick it up just like that. That is a big, big God who has taken the mountains. He's literally taken mountains and he's putting them on a scale. You guys found those items, right? Out in nature that you could maybe pick up. But can you imagine picking up a mountain and weighing a mountain? This is a big God who can pick those things up. He can pick up all the water in the hollow of his hands. He can gather all the dust of the earth in a measure. He can literally measure out all of the heavens with the span of his hands. Isaiah is showing all the people of God that they have a big God, and he is not surprised by anything in this world that is happening. Yes, there'll be bad news. Yes, there's going to be bad things that happens. But is God surprised? No. Is God still in control? Yes, he's a big God who put all those things in place. He is a big, big God. And Isaiah lands on one of the coolest passages because, yes, he tells them about this big God, but he also tells them this big God is really, really personal. And he loves them deeply. Okay? So if you guys keep reading in the rest of Isaiah chapter 40, Jacob, and this is verse 27 and on. Jacob, why do you say, and Israel, why do you assert, my way is hidden from the Lord, and my claim is ignored by God? They're saying, God, we've been praying to you, and we feel like we can't hear you. Why are you ignoring us? Isaiah continues, do you not know? Have you not heard? The Lord is the everlasting God, the creator of the whole earth. He never becomes faint or weary. There is no limit to his understanding. He gives strength to those who are faint and strengthens those who are powerless. Do you feel powerless? Do you feel faint? Do you feel like you don't have enough strength in this time? We can lean on him. The youth may become faint and weary, and young men stumble and fall, but those who trust in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not become weary. They will walk and not be faint. Isaiah's telling them, we have this big God, and you think he's not listening, you think he doesn't care during this time. He does. He's not surprised by any of this. This big God who can literally take all the water and hold it into his hands, who can gather the dust of the earth in a measure, who can grab mountains and weigh them. He can do all those things. He's measured out the entire sky, all the heavens, all the other planets, all the stars. He has measured in the width of his hand. Isaiah says, trust in him. Right? You can keep going. It's life is hard for the people around you. They can keep going, knowing that that God who created everything, who is everlasting, cares deeply about them, listens to their prayers. He hears them. He is with them. And the greatest way we see that is in the gospel and what Jesus has done for us. This big God who created the heavens and the earth came down into the form of man and died on the cross for your sins, so that you could be made right with him, so that you can spend forever with this God who created all those things. This is a big God who cares deeply for us, so we can hope in that. So I hope that you find some encouragement in that. Continue reading through Isaiah 40. It is so good and so rich because it even points us to, hey, there is one who is coming. Man, he is coming. The God who created everything is coming. And he's going to make everything right. So I hope this finds a little bit of encouragement and hope for you today. We miss you guys, and I hope to see you soon.